Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I wanted to talk about another fight that took place on the Ryan Garcia-Emmanuel Tago undercard, which is Shane Mosely Jr. against Gabe Rosado. Now, this fight was a lot. I had some interest in this fight because, Gabe Rosado, over his last couple of fights, I think has shown improvement. From the Jacobs fight to his ability to find a way to win in the Melakuziev fight. I thought over those two fights, and even a couple of fights before that, like even the Sulecki fight, I just thought I was seeing some improvements with Gabe Rosado. And what made it so exciting for me is that this fight was at his natural weight class, his natural weight division. He was going back up from 160, back up to 168, following the Jaime Munguia fight. And he was fighting a guy that in Shane Mosely's, Shane Mosely Jr., who has lost some fights. He's found ways to lose. He hasn't really been able to get over the hump in those big fights in his career thus far. So it was an intriguing fight. Shane Mosely Jr. always technical, very technically sound, good speed. Not a bum fighter, just hasn't been able to get over the hump, whether it be against Jason Quigley or Mark Christopher Atkins or guys that he fought early in his career. So this fight was a good fight. I think Shane Mosely Jr. really fought the fight of his life in this fight. He used the attributes that God gave him, and he applied it great over the 10-round period that he fought. Fighting with a very educated jab, mixing in the right hand, using lateral movement when the situation called for it. He did a great job in this fight, I think, of taking away what is one of Rosado's best punches, which is the overhand right. Rosado wasn't really able to get the overhand right off as much as he would have liked in this fight, let alone land it. So just on that alone, Shane Mosely Jr. deserves some credit for neutralizing that part of Rosado's skill set. Also, I like this fight because he just knew it. It's almost like in this fight, he just understood. He had the answer to any question Rosado could bring to him. You know what I'm saying? So overall, great fight. And honestly, look, y'all gotta put some respect on Jason Quigley's name because when Quigley was getting ready to fight Andre, and I was telling you guys, look, Quigley's he's a better fighter than you guys think. How you doing? He's a better fighter than you guys think. You guys wanted to discredit Jason Quigley, but this is the same Jason Quigley that beat this Shane Mosely Jr., the guy that beat Gabe Rosado. So you got to give him more respect as well, especially after a win like this, if you weren't already. But, Shane Mosely Jr., I love to see things like this. This is a guy that, obviously, when you have a father who's a Hall of Fame fighter, one of the legends of the sport, and Shane Mosely, being the son of a guy like that is hard. And, he found a lot of ways to lose in his career early on. To guys like Mark Christopher Atkins and Jason Quigley and a couple other guys as well. So this was much needed for him. And I'll tell you this, man, it looks like Shane Mosely Jr., Shane Mosely Jr. is trying to have a nice career in boxing. So, after a fight like that, I want to see him fight again. There's some good fights out there for him. He's at 160. This fight was at 68, but I know he's at 160. Maybe him against a guy like Jaime Munguia could be a good fight. Johnny Beck. There's some fights out there for Munguia or for Shane Mosely Jr. And I want to see him in those fights. That's why you can't always, if a guy has 3 losses or 4 losses, you can never ever, fights like his fight are why I love boxing, because a guy could be labeled a loser or a sparring partner or not that good or a hype job. He could have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 10 losses, right? But then sometimes that guy gets the right fight at the right time on the right night, and for that one night, he puts it together, and that's his moment in the sun. And maybe he'll continue to march forward to have a career. Maybe he'll just be a whatever guy and an opponent for other guys. But for this weekend and for last night, Shane Mosely Jr., tip of the cap to you, champ. Really, really great fight. Enjoyed it. As far as Rosado goes, look, Gabe Rosado now has 13 losses in his career, which really doesn't matter with a guy like him because, he never had the pretty record. He never had the chance to early in his career, take the easy fights because he wasn't no blue chip amateur. He wasn't no promoter darling in the beginning of his career. So he had a lot of losses because of that. But he gets credit because he was thrown to the wolves in his career early, and he still managed to make a great career for himself. You know, he's been in movies. He's become one of the top guys as far as being a TV personality, a great analyst of the sport, a great boxing mind, someone that, you know, is always worth listening to when it comes to opinions on the sport. There's guys that are world champions that haven't even had as good of a career as far as making a name for himself than Gabe Rosado, and he's a great example of, you know, not needing to have the pretty record to still be someone big in the sport. You know, people like Gabe Rosado and they tune in to watch him fight, not because he's gonna win or lose, but because you're gonna get a good fight, and that's what sometimes in boxing, that's just what we need. So for me personally, I say all these things to pivot into what I really want to say, which is, I think now that you've lost to a Shane Mosley Jr., and it's no slight on Shane Mosley Jr., but it just shows you, like, maybe after the Munguia fight, Rosado is slipping a little bit, and I think it might be time for him to hang up the gloves. So, you know, if that time comes next, which I think, in my opinion, you know, I'm not trying to tell him what to do, but in my opinion, I think it should, because what's the point? You lost to Shane Mosley Jr., you lost to Munguia the last fight. They're going to put you in another tough fight, and you're going to have to win like 2 or 3 of those to get a title shot. And what I think Rosado's he's in his mid-30s now, something like that. So I think at this point, you know, you've had a lot of wear and tear. You've been in a lot of wars. It's no need to put yourself through that any longer. You had a great career. You have a great future. You have a lot of value to give to people in the sport. So just not for my sake, but for your own. Like, hang him up, champ. You know, hang him up. You're a hell of a fighter. Huge fan. Got the most respect in the world for him. I don't want to see Gabe Rosado fight any longer. Not because he's not fun to watch. I'm sure it'll be fun to watch if he continues to fight. But it's more so like, you've lost to a guy like Shane Mosley Jr. And you didn't just lose. You lost in a very, very clear fashion. And that, to me, is a sign that, you know, Rosado needs to hang it up. So, you know, all in all, great performance from Shane Mosley Jr. Looking forward to seeing what the future holds for him. And, you know, just congrats on putting it together on that one night. Hopefully there's more nights like that, because, you know, he boxed a really good fight. And I just wanted to highlight that because I did enjoy it. And he's had a hard career so far. And last night, to this point in his career, was his moment in the sun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God.